What up, guys? Welcome back to the Pacific Revision for episode 51. Yes, we are here. My name is Miguel. Hello, how are you doing? Alongside me is my co-host, Eric. Say hello, Eric.
Hello, Eric. Miguel, how's it been? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. It's, you know what I mean?
I like that we talk every day, but every time we come back to recording after you miss a week, I feel like I haven't talked to you for like ever.
It does feel like it's been forever. And I was out, personal issues, and currently fighting COVID at the moment.
I was about to say, nothing more personal than a disease inside your body.
Yeah, my chest is just hurting right now, but
Upper body injury?
upper body injury, yeah.
Okay.
Day to day.
You know what? But shout out to Aaron for coming in as your backup last week. That was very
Aaron's
nice.
Awesome. I love the episode. Aaron's super cool. He is the only reason I want Colorado to win.
That's it? That's the only reason?
Because I want Aaron to be happy because he was a cool dude. He seems like a cool guy.
Why do you hate the Colorado Avalanche? Where does this come from?
I mean, we could get into it, but
that's the whole point of the show, Miguel.
So
Why does Miguel hate the Colorado Avalanche?
first off, for those who don't know me and haven't caught on after like 51 episodes, Miguel's just a hater. So I hate all things.
It's true.
But the cocky fan base of the Colorado Avalanche, the obnoxious fan base of Colorado Avalanche, who going in feel like, and this is the last 2-3 seasons, and I mean, they have the right to be excited. They have a good team, a good core. They're all pretty young, relatively young. So this is the Colorado Avalanche window is wide open.
Wide open.
And it doesn't seem like it's going to close anytime soon, which is great for that fan base. But this fan base acts like they're owed the cup because of it. And it's just really annoying, honestly, seeing a lot of these fan base. Not Aaron, though. Aaron's awesome, and he's actually really good, humble.
We're going to put a little asterisk.
I hope they win the cup just for him. But
no one else is allowed to enjoy the cup but Aaron, is what I'm hearing.
Like, I just remember every time they're like, oh, we won, we're the best, and we're the greatest of all time. And like last year in the Vegas series, like they thought when they smoked Vegas 7-0, oh boy, they would not shut up about bring on the cup. They're going to the cup. And that didn't end so well for them.
What happened after that one, though?
I mean, they stayed in Colorado, but
Miguel, if you close your eyes, you remove the word Colorado and Avalanche from your vocabulary, you're just describing every fan base, including your own. You know that, right? You know Vegas has been terribly obnoxious since year one. Year one, everyone loved you. It was great. Friendship coming in. Wow, look at these underdogs doing it. They lost against Ovechkin, but it's okay. They're lovable. They're not going to do anything that make us hate them. And guess what happened?
Guess what happened?
No, we already talked about this. You're all like, everyone posted. Here, I'm going to do your dumb voice that you do to mock people. Everyone posted us. Everyone wanted us to fail. Everyone. Lies, all right? All the articles you brought to me. All the articles. Ladies and gentlemen of the Pacific Revision and non-binary folk, let me tell you this. The proof, the fucking written literature of this evidence was brought by a website called CaptainGambling.com. That's your legitimate source.
When I Googled it, that was just the first thing to come up. As someone who lived and saw all this, Vegas was hated before they ever took the ice. People said we didn't deserve to have a team. People are like, oh, Quebec should have gotten the team. There's so many more people.
That's like the 10 people. Miguel, that's like the 10 people in Quebec City. That's like 10 people
saying, like, oh, Seattle should have gotten one before them. So much hatred before we ever took the ice. And then we came on like, oh, they won't even win.
I mean, you were an expansion team, to be fair. You saw a real expansion team this year. That was a correct take.
You're right. But I'm just saying, this is how contradictory all these fucking hockey fans are, and that's why I hate you all.
Fickle,
100%. Vegas is gonna be lucky if they win 20 games.
Again, you were an expansion team. All that stuff makes sense year one.
We dominate the entire league. Almost win the President's Trophy. Vegas got the most favorable draft ever. Even though when we drafted that team originally, everyone was like, this team is lucky if they get 20 wins. Then they got the most favorable draft of all time.
What do you present these things?
But the Seattle came along.
The revisionist history there is here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the
For you,
of all these hockey fans are upset. Everyone said this. Everybody said this, Eric.
Look, I'll give you one thing. I'll say the expansion draft argument's complete horseshit. That's just DMs doing terrible fucking moves for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, it's not my fault the Ducks GM was an idiot. Same thing with the
Do you remember
Wild
Do you
GM.
remember the other guy that they gave you to take Shea Theodore? Like, do you remember that player? Because I do.
No.
It's Clayton Stoner. They're like, we'll give you Clayton Stoner. By the way, again, one of the most popular year one Vegas jerseys was Clayton Stoner. I wonder why.
He took the ice one time, and it's so fucking funny. To this day, you see Stoner jerseys. It's not Mark Stone jerseys either. Clayton Stoner jerseys.
But look, I'll give you.
That's a great last name, though.
I guess. But I'll give you that. Look. The expansion draft, all that stuff. Fine. We can rewrite the books on that one. People are wrong, all right? Vegas had a fine draft. It said everyone else made it good for them. Like, why was Jonathan Marchessault and Riley Smith made available? It's because Florida doesn't fucking know how to handle the cap. Alex Tuck. Like, you can go through, like, the list of players that were available for no reason. They didn't have to be.
Eric Howell and Alex Tuck together?
For no reason. Again,
reason.
To keep what, Matt Dumba or something?
Dumba. It was to keep Dumba. Yeah, it was to keep Dumba.
Whatever, like for sure, I guess. But like you saw the repercussions of that in the expansion draft this year, where everyone's like, "No moves. We're just take who you want. We're not doing this again," and that's the right move. You know what I mean? Like if your team can't afford to lose to the eighth best forward or your fourth best defenseman and your third best goalie, like you're probably not a good team anyway. So why bother to try to save those things?
Either way, fast forward. We're in the playoffs year one, and everyone's like, they haven't suffered. They don't deserve to win the cup.
You know how obnoxious you guys were when you swept? By the way, funny you should mention that because this sweater is from that playoff run in 2018.
We're obnoxious for sweeping. You guys were obnoxious. Like, well, Vegas,
we were the underdog.
They're welcome to the playoffs. They're going to get a reality check.
Not everybody. Who? Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you. Who? By the way, YouTube, I didn't mean that. That's not real. Who in the right world goes into the playoffs and is like, you know what? We're gonna try our best. We might win. I don't know. Like we might do okay. No, you go into it. You'd be like, I'm gonna burn this other team. We're the best. Who's humble in the playoffs? Who?
Exactly. There you go. So this bullshit, I'm just happy to be here against the Edmonton Oilers is a lie, Eric. You just got caught up in your own fucking lie.
No, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. By the way, hold on. Now we're going to go into my whole thing. Like, I'm tired. You know what I'm tired about? You know what I'm tired about? I'm tired about hearing, so like when Edmonton made the conference final, right? And Calgary played dog shit. I'm tired of the whole like, man, if LA could have beaten them in 6 or 7, they'd be in the conference final. No, we fucking wouldn't. We have no depth. Our team was made of mostly children. We couldn't score. Our power play sucked. Like the fact that we pushed to game 7, great job, good growth there. But it doesn't mean anything until next year. Like if they don't take a step forward next year, it doesn't really matter. So don't give me none of this. It could have been them in the conference final. Stop it. Stop. No, that's not what happened. It does. I could say if and when and wander every little goddamn quandary under the sun. But guess what? At the end of the day, they lost Game 7 to the Edmonton Oilers, who beat the Calgary Flames in 5, who then got swept yesterday by the Colorado Avalanche.
Could have been LA.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna push forward with my point.
Every fan base is obnoxious. Every fan base is obnoxious.
Going back to the obnoxious Colorado Avalanche fan base.
Jesus Christ! Except for Eric.
I'm not gonna. Except for Aaron. Aaron's awesome. You're amazing. Keep doing you. I'm not gonna name names. Mm-hmm. But we're in a hockey Facebook group, and there's a fan in that group of the Colorado Avalanche.
Again, that's everybody.
celebrated his team winning. Awesome, that's great. You should be on cloud nine. I agree. When someone said, "Oh, but I guess the Blues are the only ones to give him a real challenge," this Colorado fan was like, well, actually, Colorado really wasn't trying, and Blues got kind of lucky.
Well, I don't think that's true.
How obnoxious of you to say that? And I hope he listens. How obnoxious of you to say that? Like, you're just, like, you know what I mean? How is that not obnoxious of a fan base to say something like that?
I mean, I would totally absolutely say something like that. By the way, look, I think look, we're gonna get into this whole Colorado Edmonton thing now. I think we're underselling how dominant the Colorado Avalanche have been.
Oh,
they've only lost 2 games. 2 games this entire run. With 2 goalies. 3, one of them maybe blind. Yes. Maybe blind. Because the keeper can't see. They're not going to have Kadri anymore. Sam Girard's been out since the second round. And they've lost 2 games. Like, we talk about how dominant. Remember 2012, right? There are people talk about how dominant that run for the Kings were as the 8th seed. They have as many losses heading into the final as that Kings team do, with like average goaltending. Jonathan Quick had to stand on his head with like a 941, and they have like 900 goalie save percentage, and they have as many losses and swept twice.
Colorado has looked unbeatable. Like they're monsters. Like this is their cup to lose. It's not even them to win. It's their cup to lose.
Tampa Bay. Until Tampa Bay loses, I don't want to hear it.
No, it's theirs to lose at this point.
I'm sorry, Tampa Bay. Until Tampa Bay loses and they're dethroned, and that's a neat time that'll happen. It's not. It's Tampa Bay's to lose.
I don't think, and it could be the competition, but I don't think so because it's Edmonton and McDavid and the best player in the world, but I don't think Tampa nor New York has looked as dominant as Colorado has.
I mean, Tampa Bay swept the President Trophy's winner.
Yeah, but
Tampa Bay came back 3-2 against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
But Tampa, at no point outside of the Florida series did I think they look like this. Like this team looks amazing. I never said that.
No, but like the hardest thing to do in the playoffs.
They did. Against Florida, they did, and they're missing Braden Point, which is a humongous piece of their other team. I've never, at no point against Toronto, and so far the one victory they have against New York Rangers. By the way, New York is winning 2-1, game 4 tonight. Have I said, "Oh, this Tampa looks deadly"? Like I haven't believed that. Same thing with New York. New York has looked deadlier, but even then, none have looked like. When I watch Colorado, like it literally feels like a goal can come at any moment. Like when you watch Colorado play,
I think that just lends to their offensive firepower, and even Colorado has again, like we mentioned, Kadri's going to be out for them for pretty much the rest of the playoffs.
Like,
that's your second line center.
Like Dale McCarr has got to win the MVP, right? Like of the playoffs. Like
that's who I would have. Absolutely. Like
he's been the most noticeable player for Colorado, in my opinion.
The impact he's had.
Nuts.
The impact he had in that series against Edmonton, like being able to match up against McDavid, him and Devin Taves, being able to suppress them. I think they had in the game 2 win where it was 4-0. I think it was like 2 off the rush chances for McDavid in that game, and that's McDavid in transition. Like I look at the Colorado Avalanche and they kind of have everything you want except goaltending. Like they're deep defensively. Like I'm not a big fan of playing Jack Johnson, but you kind of have to because of Sam Girard's being out. They're gonna miss a second line center, but JT Confer in game 3, like arose from the depths. And has a breakout performance, 2-goal game to push them over for that win in game 3. Like, there's a lot to like about Colorado, and the fact that their big guys are still going strong. You saw it in the clinching game where Rantanen and McKinnon are the guys who tie the game and then take the lead. But then you have guys like Arturi Lehkonen doing depth stuff and scoring the game winner. Like, the balance throughout Colorado is the thing that's pretty impressive, and it's a big mentality. Like the Tampa Bay Lightning, where look at the game 3 win. It's a pass from Kucherov, quick passing to Andre Palat. depth guys doing big things when it matters the most. And you find a way to win. And that's what Tampa Bay can do. Like, remember last year when they played against the Islanders? The Islanders challenged them to play defensively. Like, let's play low scoring, let's play defense, let's play boring hockey, Islanders way. And they beat them back-to-back years.
No, I will say this. While of the remaining teams, I'm kind of rooting for New York.
It's no quit in New York.
The best chance at beating Colorado, or not even the best chance, I think Tampa beats Colorado, but I think Colorado beats New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I think the Final Four was so interesting to me of how it shook out, because you could honestly say the elite offenses are in the West, which is like run and gun transition offense with Colorado and Edmonton. While on the East, you have the battle of Jesus Christ, the two best fucking goalies on the planet Earth right now going head to head. Like, either way, you were gonna get a matchup of a deep team with good goaltending against a elite offense with some okay goaltending, but pretty good. But the difference between Colorado and Edmonton is the defense.
Yeah,
it's, I mean, look, all credit for Edmonton. Like, hell of a season. Like, Connor McDavid is special. Like, he had 33 points in 3 rounds.
Yeah,
like
I said, at the end of the day, when you're icing Mike Smith and you don't have depth, like, you're not gonna win. You're just not.
Well, that too, and then the problem with the playoffs is the whole, it does become a long battle of, all right, who's healthiest? And Edmonton wasn't. Like, Yamamoto got taken out by Landeskog in Game 2. Didn't come back in the rest of the series. Darnell Nurse yesterday during the Game 4 press conferences, I think they announced he had a torn hip flexor, like, that he got like the week before the playoffs started.
Yeah.
We still don't know what's wrong with Draisaitl, and Draisaitl looked fucking awful. And no, that's not even to say that he played fucking phenomenal, but he looked so hurt and so bad. Like, you could feel it in his legs anytime someone would like press against him, and you'd have to like jostle for position. Like, he didn't have that lower body strength at all.
Yeah,
he didn't have it, and he still had, again, 32 points in fucking 3 rounds. Like, what? Like, the things that Leon Draisaitl can do with just his hands and with no legs, basically, is amazing. And it's a shame, because you look at the Edmonton Oilers and you get caught in, like, Miguel, like, you were joking with me about, like, my playoff teams. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to be here and all that stuff, but this is the type of loss that if I'm Edmonton, like, I hate, because you go with, all right, McDavid, out of his world, you can't say anything bad about McDavid. But then you get to everybody else and you're like, what if? What if Leon Draisaitl was healthy? What if Evander Kane didn't suspend himself in Game 3? What if Yamamoto didn't get taken out? What if you didn't have Mike Smith as your goalie? Because Mike Smith played well in the playoffs, but he did the Mike Smith things at Mike Smith times, like the worst possible times he did a thing.
While Mike Smith definitely looked solid in the Colorado series, he gave up a lot of rough goals. Like, he may not have given up a ton of goals, and he did make a lot of great saves. He gave up a couple rough goals that, like, you just can't give up in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
And you can go through the list. Like, Mike Smith had a 9-1-3, which is perfectly fine for the playoffs. But you can go down the list of, like, God, I wish he had that one. I wish he had that one. And it's at crucial moments. Like, Game 3. Game's tied 2-2. Oilers are on the power play. Evan Bouchard shoots a puck. It goes off the post. Puck goes the other way. JT Compher comes out the box. And it's a 5-hole and in a game where all the momentum in the world was on the Edmonton Oilers side. Literally, Game 1 this playoffs against the Kings. Like, he doesn't need to play this puck. He clears it, and it's bad. He also had a bad clear in Game 4 against Colorado. Like, there's so many moments where, I don't know. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Like, I want to shit on Mike Smith so bad, and I understand why they go with him, but I don't know. Like, if you're an Oilers fan, like, do you think about that? Do you think that's the thing you think about, or do you think about the health of the team and they're like, well, we just ran out of gas?
I think Oiler fans are pretty happy with Mike Smith's performance. Like, I wouldn't say he's the reason they lost. It's not. I'm just saying a better goalie would have probably stole them a game or two.
Can I make this about Vegas?
You can.
So it's my problem with Robin Leonard that I have with Vegas, because the thing that and it's a different issue in the long run with Smith and Edmonton and Leonard in Vegas, because I told you, like, when Fleury and Leonard were going on, it felt like when Fleury needed to do a big save, it would pump up the crowd, it would pump up the team, and you would see that they would get rallied behind, right? Yep. I never felt that with Robin Leonard. Like, Robin Leonard, tremendous goalie, really good, probably, like, if I had to guess, like, top 10 probably in the league without off the top of my head of, like, who guys I'd want. But in terms of, like, team chemistry and stuff like that, like, when you need him to make a big save, it almost seemed like he didn't. But it's because he was so solid the other times that you took that for granted, if that makes sense.
I agree.
And it's the same thing with Mike Smith. Like, Mike Smith is fucking great when he's on, but when he's bad, it's noticeable and it's deflating. And that's my issue with both of them on the teams that they are.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I don't think the Edmonton fan base is disappointed, and I'm sure some are in Mike Smith, but I feel like he shouldn't be. He played above his standard, above his expected in my opinion. So, and he didn't lose in the series. Like, I don't think, like, they gave us some rough goals for sure, but I don't think he lost them the series. They're just outnumbered, and just Avalanche is a better team, a deeper team. Like, what you gonna do? But
yeah.
I mean, again, congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche. They're going to the Stanley Cup. First time in a long time.
2001.
And they won, right? That one?
Yeah, the Avalanche are actually undefeated in the final, 2-0.
2-0. But yeah, now, we can quickly talk about...
Actually, I want to ask you one more thing let's talk about Colorado a little bit, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
If Darcy Kemper if his eye is okay, do you start him game one of the final, or do you roll with Francouz?
I think you do start him, because I don't think Francouz has looked amazing either.
He's been fine. He had a rough game 4 for that clinching game.
A rough game 4 and a rough game 1. Like, he gave up way too many in that first game.
Yeah, but that was like a weird ass game where, not every day a starter just pulls himself. You know what I mean? Like, Kemper decided he didn't have it that night, and because of his eye or whatever, and then took himself out. So it's hard. Like, the game was what, 8-6? Like, I'm not gonna fault him too bad about that game 1, because game 2 he had a shutout, but they didn't make him work that much. I think he had 24 saves in that second
low
game, and game 3 was basically hold it down.
I think you start Kemper. I would. I don't. And I feel like most people would too. You always go with the veteran, like.
And he's your guy. Like, he's the starter. This isn't like a 1A 1B type situation. Like, Darcy Kemper was the guy in the regular season, so it's just up to his eye, and it's a good sign that he was able to back up in the game for game 4. So if they needed him, he would have been able to play ideally.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. It's hard. Like, anytime you mess with some lineup mixes, I'm always like a little tentative. But I think you're right. I think you do start Kemper. Are you worried about no Kadri?
No,
losing your second line center is rough.
Yeah, but I think Colorado again is just, they're deep enough, they're good enough that while it hurts to not have Kadri, like, I don't think he makes and breaks Colorado from winning. Like, if Makar went down, if McKinnon went down, then
different story.
You start to worry, yeah. But I don't think Kadri makes, as good as he is, I don't think he makes and breaks that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I think someone like Makar and McKinnon does. So
the thing that's fascinating me right now about the whole playoffs, if we can transition to the other side, like after I get to this point, like everybody's missing their second line center that's left. Colorado's missing Kadri. Brian Strome went down game 3 for the Rangers, and then Braden Point's been out since round 1 against the Lightning. So I'm telling you, it becomes a contest on who could stay the most healthy, and it'll be interesting to who has more depth, and that's why I can't go against Tampa Bay. They're just known to fucking have shenanigans up their ass, like have Corey Perry do a thing. Have Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, Vegas legend, do a thing. We're what, a game or two away from maybe like Jan Ruda game-winning goal or something like that. Like guys you would least expect seem to always stand out for Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The thing about Tampa is like I don't think they've looked great against New York. It's Tampa, and they can always turn it on. But like, I mean, they got blown out game 1, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
And then game 3, they were playing from behind most of the game, and it didn't look like they were going to do it. And then New York kind of let up on the gas and let Tampa get back, claw their way back into it after being down 2-0. So, I mean, we'll see it. And today's a big game. Tampa has to win today. They're at home. They have to win. They have to tie the series today.
I don't know. Like every time I look at Tampa, I'm always like, nothing feels like a must win for them until elimination time. And Vasilevsky has proven that he can step up in those moments and be a wall. Sure. But I will say, Shesterkin has outplayed him so far. Even in that loss, I think Shesterkin had the best game, and it's just what a fucking play by Kucherov to Palat for that game-winning goal with like 40 seconds left. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, it's gonna take a hell of an effort to beat Shesterkin right now. Like, playoffs, I want to say 9-3-5 in the entire playoffs. Like, and that's after starting terribly against Pittsburgh in round 1.
I think that's the one thing Colorado has to be scared of is they haven't faced a goalie like either man in the other series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm trying to go through like Campbell didn't play bad but Bobrovsky didn't play bad, but like they didn't have much support either. And on the other side, what? Like Casey DeSmith went down early, so they had to play Louis Domingue. And then but you basically played Carolina's backup, right? Because they played Ronta, and then you saw Kachekov, who's their third guy. Like either team hasn't seen like either other teams as 1A until now.
And that's, to me, I mean, we'll see, but like I think while Colorado's high scoring, like when they can't score, they get frustrated and like then they start playing worse. So we'll see. I mean, that's what happened with Vegas last year. Like when they were getting walled up by Fleury, like they were getting frustrated.
Yeah, but like but the thing is, like you didn't see that in game 3. They went down 2-0 in that game and just kept going at it. Like they made it within one, within like a couple minutes, and then tied the game late in the third and then won it. Like Tampa Bay has a way of just keep going, and they'll eventually.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, like it's hard to me to choose a winner out of Tampa and New York, but I think I'm leaning towards. I think New York's going to win this one.
Man, I don't know. I will say that I do want to shout out like the Rangers power play has been so good in this fucking series.
Yeah,
it's been crazy. So good, and it's.
Well, I mean, game 3, the only 5-on-5 goal was the game winner.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
You know again, I think it describes to you like the amount of effort it needs to take. Like, and that game winning play was so beautiful. Like if both goaltenders are playing at their A+ level, which I think they were in game 3, it's gonna take some creative stuff and odd man rushes to finally beat them. Like nothing's gonna beat them from the point. Good luck trying to get anything clean and cheeky. Like it has to be dirty and or phenomenal in terms of playmaking, and that's what we got. Like I don't know. Like, do you think Vasilevsky gets better as the series goes by, and does that even things out a little bit? Because, like we said, Shesterkin has outplayed him so far, at least in the first 2 games in New York.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, despite how well he's playing, Vasilevsky has to be Vasilevsky, like, if they want to win this, because they got a man on the other side that's just as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Like I was listening to, because I like to listen to other teams, so I was listening to the Dangle podcast, Steve Dangle.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about basically, because they have experience with Vasilevsky in round 1. And like the thing that surprised me is like the thing that they said was like it's not game 1 and 2 and 3 you should worry about. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7 when it's
Yeah,
crunch
like,
time and pressure, and good luck trying to get anything by them. Like,
I agree. Vasilevsky under pressure is just second to none.
And that's such a good take because Tampa Bay has such a good chance. Like they talked about, like it wasn't up until this series against New York that they didn't lose back-to-back games in the playoffs for 3 years. And they got their ass kicked in those first 2 games. But game 3 comes. They go down 2-0. They find a way to build their pressure and fight through it and win the game. Like that's the reason. Like they're mentally tough. And the Rangers haven't been here before, so it'll really be interesting to see how they come out in game 4. Because that, by all intents and purposes, a crushing way to lose a game. Because you are 1 goal away from being up 3-0 and basically sealing the game away. I understand 4 teams have come back from 3-0 down, but come on. That is 3. No team basically comes back from 3 up. And they were 1 goal away. But now it's a 2-1 series and anything can happen. Like it'll be interesting to see how the Rangers come back.
Yeah, it is interesting because like against Toronto, Lightning gave up 5 in the first game, 3 in the second game, 5 in the third game, and then after that it was only 3, 4, 3, 1. Yeah. And in Florida it was just 1-1-1-0.
It's 3 goals in 4 games. What a performance.
So we will see. Any last words on the playoffs?
Actually, I would like to get your Conn Smythe picks for each team remaining.
I mean, you got my Colorado one already.
Cale Makar, which I couldn't agree more with.
Tampa, I'd give it a Vasilevsky. I mean, I think it's got to go to the goalies, right? For both the other 2 teams. As great as like Kreider's been too, like it's just Igor has been the reason they got past last round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have to say, yeah, if you're not giving it to the goalies, which I think you're right, I think you have to give it to the goalies for either of these teams. You could make it
so Igor, I think, than Vasilevsky.
Yeah, but like the scoring in Tampa hasn't been like amazing. Like I think it's 20 points for Kucherov, who leads the Tampa Bay Lightning in points. Like it's not a lot.
Well, like I said, Vasilevsky held Florida to 3 goals in 4 games. Like
exactly, and then in 2 elimination games against Toronto, basically shut them down. Miguel Zibanejad, I think, is the only guy other than Shesterkin you're going to look at for the Rangers. Like, he has 24 points. Your number 1 center, really good on the power play. Like, probably the leader of the team.
The thing with New York, as far as forwards goes, it's been like a different guy coming up big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been consistent. Like, it's constantly.
I mean, game 1 and 2, you saw the kid line that they called it, the Filipino.
The kid line's been stepping up, but it's not one. It's not like it's just one specifically of the 3 scoring all the goals. It's the line in general. I think that's what I'm saying. It has to be the goalies, right? Like,
yeah, I think so.
And for Colorado, Makar, and it's not even close. Like,
man, like McKinnon, I guess. Like he would be the only one in Colorado. I'd be like, probably Nathan McKinnon. Like he played phenomenal.
I still think Makar's been better.
Oh yeah, no. Makar's been the driving force behind the entire playoffs, in my opinion, for them. So it'd be crazy not to give him the Conn Smythe if Colorado wins.
Yeah, unless he has like a really bad finals. But yeah,
just 2-1 for 7 games. Miguel, do you want to move on from the playoffs? What else do we got?
We got Bruce Cassidy.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Unemployed.
I forgot that happened. Boston, what the hell?
That is crazy to me, man. Like this guy's been amazing for Boston.
Oh
and
my God.
Time for change.
I guess. It was.
I mean, I love to see it because this gives Vegas options. You know what I mean? Like.
The thing that I get it, we make it about Vegas, but the thing that confuses me is like, was this even rumored that it was a possibility at all?
I don't think it was. I feel like when it happened, I was kind of like, is this real? Like when you guys whoever posted in our group, like I literally had to go Google it. Just like, did they really just fire him?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out. Like the big thing was basically like they just needed a new voice in the lineup. And there's a lot of uncertainty in Boston because we don't know if Patrice Bergeron, shout out to Patrice who won the Selke again for 5 years in a row, or for 5 times. No, 5 times.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry,
5 times.
5 times. Don't. He's like Booker T. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
So we don't know if he's coming back. Like Jake DeBrusk might still be traded because he wanted one earlier. Like Charlie McAvoy might be out for a while because of his injury. Like there's a lot of uncertainty in Boston, and it's interesting that you would make a coaching change right now without any. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how it would feel if I was a Boston fan. Confused, I guess, like I am now.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's a good time to be in search for a new coach, though. Like, there's options out there. I mean, who knows? Maybe they get Barry Trotz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. But pretty much at this point, like, do you have a job opening? Barry Trotz is here.
I know.
It must be great. By the way, it must be great being Barry Trotz right now. You just get to go around like to Winnipeg, to Vegas, like just get wined and dined as teams try to convince you to come sign.
And you can kind of name your price because
also the Islanders still owe him another year of pay. So even if he doesn't take a job, he's still going to get paid this year.
That's crazy.
Like Barry Trotz, shout out to you, buddy. You know what I mean?
I know. Good for him.
It's so weird. So what a weird decision. I still don't understand why the Islanders, like I understand wanting to keep your guy, but if you're going to promote a guy from the AHL or an assistant coach, you usually want to be like, I hope this guy turns out like Barry Trotz, where you have Barry Trotz right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've seen the whole like assistant coach becoming NHL head coach not work out, but sometimes it does. So I don't know, Miguel. Like it'll be interesting to see. Like, do you think Vegas has to be the best job available, right? Because we have Dallas, Detroit, Philly, Vegas, and Winnipeg, and then technically Florida and Edmonton have interim guys, but I'm pretty sure those two are going to keep their interim coaches. So 6 still.
Why wouldn't you want to come to Vegas? You know what I mean?
Miguel, what was the temperature yesterday there?
I don't know.
It was was it 100 degrees?
Oh, we're in the hundreds. We're definitely in the hundreds now. Yes.
That's why.
It is currently 95 degrees at the moment.
It's 11:47 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, the best time I might add, and it's 95 degrees.
Yeah, but who's outside? Who goes outside? You know what I mean?
People do. Don't you have to go to say to go to work?
Yeah, but you're in a car.
Miguel, I'm about to say, Miguel, how miserable is your car when you first have to get in there?
Oh, it's the worst.
Do you have to leave the door open with the AC blasting?
I have leather seats too.
I know. I've been in your car. It hurts.
I forgot you were in my car in the summer. You're right.
Yeah. Because I'm an idiot. My birthday's this month, and so I usually go to Vegas to go.
One thing I wish I had in my car that a lot of people in Vegas do have is push to start. Like on your key.
Yeah.
I have my boss and this other guy I work with, they always, when we're at the warehouse, they'll have the car running for like a good 10-15 minutes with the AC on before they get in.
God.
So when they get in, it's nice and cool. And
it's basically the opposite of what people in Canada have to do, right? When it's like cold and snowy, you have to like warm up the car and stuff.
Yeah.
God.
But it's not that you get used to it. It really isn't that bad because like for me, I get in the car, yeah, it's hot, but then you start driving, you roll your windows down, and it feels good.
No, it doesn't, Miguel. It doesn't. It doesn't feel good. You have 100-degree air hitting you as you're going down the highway.
It's not that bad. And then your AC cools down the car in like 4 minutes. You're good.
I don't know, Miguel. I've been in that car. It's not how that works. I don't all of a sudden go, oh, I forgot how hot it is inside. Wrong.
Either way, you got a good team in Vegas. It's Vegas, so plus during hockey season, it isn't hot in Vegas. And they can go back to wherever they're from during the summer. You know what I mean?
I guess. How about we go out of this episode now? We're done. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Barry can go back to Winnipeg during the summer. You know what I mean?
Nobody wants to go back to Winnipeg.
Yes, I think that is it for this week. I am Miguel. You can find me at Miguel Kicks most places on the internet. Make sure to check out my YouTube, youtube.com/collectors lobby. Eric, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at _Erick Oriana. It's _ERICKORELLANA. Miguel, we have merch. We have a new logo. It's a nice hat you have for audio listeners. It's a black hat with our new Pacific Revision logo. It looks great. Good job. Bonfire.com/store/Pacific Revision. Miguel, take us home.
Check us out. So everyone watching, listening, thank you so much. If you're still watching and still listening, I appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.
Goodbye.